So a few weeks ago, a viewer by the name of Just for YouTube -QV6WK asked me to make an SMG build for the assault class with any of the weapons available, but they didn't mention that it should be fast both in ADS speed and ADS movement speed. Now at first, I was kind of thinking, what weapon do I actually want to use? And I ended up using the CI-19 for a couple of reasons, because it is one of the fastest TTK ARs available to the assault class. Now the AKM with the performance barrel, or the one that gives you extra damage to the chest, is technically faster TTK, but it does require you to consistently hit thorax shots, as opposed to the CI-19 that does 25 damage to the thorax, groin, 22 to the limbs, and 47 damage to the head. Now technically the AS-Val does have a faster TTK than this, but I felt like the AS-Val doesn't allow you to do much in terms of modifications, so I ended up just going with the CI-19. So let's get right into the build here, starting with a completely blank slate. Now the CI-19 is kind of special because you can swap out the gas block for something else. Now the new type stable gas block on paper looks good, but if you scroll up here, you can see fire rate is decreased. So the fire rate is now 660 as opposed to the base fire rate of 706. So it does decrease it by 40 RPM, and that would then in turn increase the TTK. So I simply chose to not put a gas block on here. You could put the rapid, but it does reduce the overall effective range by 10 meters, which is a pretty big hit. So I chose to just keep the basic gas block on here. For the barrel, I went with the new type Leopard short barrel to get some more handling, get more accuracy for the SMG-like build that I wanted to go for. Then we're going to go with the titanium muzzle brake here to get some control, both horizontal and vertical. Slight cost in handling, but we're going to make up for it. For the foregrip, I went with the competition hand stop, giving us plus 12 accuracy, plus 5 handling at the cost of control. For the mag, you have two options here. Now, either the 45 rounder or the 60 rounder. Now, the 60 rounder is really nice, but again, massive penalty to handling, so I chose to go with the 45 rounder for this specific build with the mag assist. Then for the rear grip, we're going to go with the new type sword heavy grip to get extra control, extra stability at the cost of handling, but that's not too big of a deal here. Then for the stock, I tried a different few versions of this weapon with different stocks, and you're going to see some of that in the video. I went with the M4 recoil buffer tube that just gives you a massive amount of accuracy handling as well, but I felt like the weapon was just too jumpy when you're actually firing and needing to ADS, so I opted for the skeleton sniper stock, giving us plus 8 handling, plus 6 stability, cost and accuracy, but we're going to make up for some of that, and then cost and control as well. For the optic, I went with the multi-purpose tactical riser because you can put panels on the rest of the barrel slots here. Then we're going to go with an RDS of your choice. I went with the mini RDS for this one, and then a laser of your choice as well. Just go with the blue because it matches the theme of this actual skin. Then we're going to put Hornet handguard panels on all 4 or all 3 of these slots here, so a left, right, and upper rail slot, and then this is our final build. Now if we look at the stats here real quick before playing with the calibration, we can see that we increased the control by 9, handling has plus 2. Keep in mind that the laser also gives you 50 milliseconds faster ADS speed when you have it on. Stability, we're pretty much the same here, and then the accuracy, we're at 72, which is not half bad, so you can still hit enemies at pretty decent ranges with this. For the calibration here, since they mentioned they needed fast ADS speed and fast ADS movement speed, we're going to decrease the barrel weight by 50 grams and then decrease the length by 10 millimeters to get extra ADS speed and extra ADS movement speed. For the foregrip, we're going to go with -20 and -20 grams, more ADS speed, more ADS movement speed. For the rear grip, we're going with plus 50 grams and plus 20 millimeters to get extra control and extra stability when moving because it was very shaky when moving. For the stock, plus 50 grams to get extra control and -2 slots to get extra ADS movement speed. And finally for the riser optic, -20 millimeters in eye relief. So the final stats with all of that, let's go look at it real quick. We can see the control, plus 9 handling, it's at 268, so take another 50 milliseconds off if you have the laser on. That's 218 milliseconds, so less than a quarter of a second for you to ADS with this weapon. Stability, exactly the same. You get a little bit more breath sway range, considering that we reduced the stability while breathing. And then finally the accuracy at 72. Now in order to use this CI-19 build, you will need to level it up to 58 in order to unlock the titanium contest muzzle brake, but this weapon was performing absolutely fantastic. You could even get kills at like decent ranges of 50-ish meters, and you're doing that higher damage model of 25 up to 30 meters with this build, if I'm not mistaken. So it acts like an SMG, but it has a damage model of an assault rifle, and more importantly, the headshot damage multiplier of an assault rifle at 47. So if you're getting like double headshots in there, it's only taking you 3 shots to kill, which is very, very nice. So it hits like an absolute truck. And the TTK difference between the rapid gas block and the base gas block, I believe, is like 12 or 20 milliseconds of something like that. So it's not like a big enough difference to warrant all the penalties that come with the rapid gas block, in my opinion. I had tried it, but again, it was just too shaky, lost too many stats for both stability and control, so I just chose to go with the basic gas block. But overall, this thing is going to absolutely compete with any SMG that the support class has access to, or the recon. You're just destroying people in like 257 milliseconds. You're shooting pretty quickly. You're doing some pretty chunky damage for every bullet, and the ADS speed is just absolutely phenomenal on this thing. It's like just instantaneous, basically, with 218 milliseconds. As per usual, the weapon share code will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. Thanks to Just for YouTube for recommending that I make an SMG for the assault class using any of the weapons. I had a lot of fun working on this build, and I hope you will all enjoy it as well. If you'd like to see it build featured in an upcoming video, please leave it in the comment section down below. In any case, I'll leave you with some highlight clips of me using the specific build. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Uh-huh.